Hey guys, Jess here. Welcome back to the Cleanup Classroom, where I am helping you take back your happy place. So today we are going through Unit 2, Module 1, which is evaluating your current space, whether that's a corner, a cupboard, or an entire craft room. We're going to walk through and take a good hard look at the space you have and try and determine what kind of organization is going to work best for you. So if you are all new to my channel and you're just watching this series, I have a Facebook group called Craft Room Cleanup, which I offer this wonderful free craft room cleanup guide. And what I have done is not only offered you this cleanup guide, I have also created learning units in the Facebook group that are completely free, and I am leveling up that learning, the units, and adding in some video content as well to go into more detail about each step and how to successfully reorganize your craft room so it will stick. So we are in Unit 2, Module 1. If this is the first video you're seeing, I recommend going back to Unit 1 and Modules 1 and 2, where we do some self-evaluation. That is the key, very important first step, so you do not want to skip it. But if you have watched all along, thank you so much for joining me in this series. I hope you're finding it helpful, and we are going to evaluate our spaces today. And so what do I mean by evaluating your spaces? I want you to take a look at what size space you have. I want you to take a look at how much stuff you currently have in there. Is it too much? Now, but let's be honest with ourselves. We're all crafters. We always have way too much supplies. So your space is going to determine how much product you can own, how much supplies you can have. So we have to take that into consideration. I also want you to take a look at windows, doors, closets, your entire space, because this is going to determine the flow of your workspace. Now, some of you may already have a setup that you love, and that's okay. This steps is kind of optional. If you're moving into a new space, or you're thinking about moving your craft room, or you just want to completely redo it, evaluating your space is really important, because you need to consider how much wall space you have. You need to consider your windows and how much natural light you have. If you have closets that you're able to utilize for supplies, this is all really important stuff in figuring out how to make the space work best for you. Do you already have furniture, or are you starting from scratch? If you don't have furniture, you're definitely going to want to take wall measurements. And Ikea has a really great room design app. I'll link it below. That's what I've used to redo my craft room. And so you can measure the walls and then input the measurements into this app, and then you can pick and choose furniture, rearrange, and kind of get a visual idea of what your space might look like with different furniture. I'm a very visual person, and having that design app has been extremely helpful in getting my thoughts in my head out. Maybe not drawn on paper, but out in a visual state, so I can actually see, is this going to work? Before either you go out and buy new furniture, or before you take the time and energy to move your existing furniture around. So super, super important to have an idea, right? Because some of this furniture can be really heavy. You don't want to hurt yourself, like constantly moving stuff around. So do it virtually first, right? It's a free app. It's very easy to use, and I definitely recommend it. Again, windows. I keep talking about windows. Those are really important too, because they let in a lot of natural light, but it's also going to limit how much vertical space, how high you can go up with your storage. So you want to take that into consideration. And you also want to take into consideration when the sun comes in at different times of day, because that's going to affect your lighting with you crafting. You want to make sure you're not like blinded, but you also want to make sure your desk is positioned for a lot of nice natural light too. And then if you have closets, right, that's another thing to consider. Closets are great additional storage if you can use that for your craft room, so that's something to take into account when you're trying to determine how best to store your supplies. When it comes to closet, my recommendation is closets are great for those supplies that you don't use as often, but you need to keep them. Like your crop stuff, like your little wheelie tote and your traveling bags, or some overstock product or boxes or supplies that you use to replace what's currently in your craft space. So closets are wonderful to tuck away all that overflow. So you've got this wonderful space. And if it's a corner, that's okay too. You still need to evaluate it, right? You need to see what size you have, what size desk will fit, what size storage items will fit. So whether it's an entire room or a corner, you want to evaluate your space. Or you have to have portable, storage items because you don't have a permanent home for your craft room. You still need to figure out what kind of space you have to craft and how much you can fit, and bring out while you're crafting. So this is all important stuff to consider, especially if you're starting from scratch or you're looking to revamp everything. Or if you have too much stuff, you need to evaluate your space because your space is going to dictate how much you can own. A lot of us acquire so much that it starts piling up outside of our craft rooms, right? Taking over other areas in our home, and we really want to restrict that. We want to keep it to our craft space. So one, we know what we have, and two, we don't clutter up the rest of our home with all our craft goodies. So your space, your craft room, your craft corner, your craft closet, really is going to dictate how much product you can own. So with that being said, have fun designing your space. Really take into account what you have for furniture, wall space, windows, closets, and start designing your dream space. So when we come back next, we are going to start actually going through our product. So have fun designing your space, and I will see you next time here on the Clean Up Classroom. Bye!